Hi guys, and welcome to another edition of Scouting. I am back in the AMX 1390 in my final game in this tank. This is the game where I earned enough XP to finally elite it and unlock the Lorraine 40T, but it was another good scout game, so I've decided to include it on the channel. It is also pretty similar to a previous scouting video I brought you, also in the AMX 1390 on Westfield, and I do pretty much exactly the same thing, but yeah, I'm lazy and I needed a scouting video for today, so I decided, you know what, I'll just show you this one as well. So yeah, it may be very similar to the last AMX 1390 video I brought you on Westfield, but it is still a pretty good game. Now, one interesting thing that happened during the countdown, I'm not including it, is our Fosh155 basically said that this was a lost cause. He said, oh, another lost game. Now, there are good players on either side, but this is a 64%er, and yeah, it may be a very tough tier 10 game with a lot of very nasty tier 10 tanks on either side, but it is far from a lost cause. So if you're just wondering what is happening in chat, it is basically a lot of players responding to the Fosh155 comments that this was going to be a loss. But anyway, let's just get going. Yeah, as I say in chat, everyone is responding to the Fosh. Yeah, you can see our team are quite confident. And find the pessimism shown by our 155 quite amusing. But anyway, I'm going to be pushing up to my favorite scouting bush at H0. And I'm waiting to encounter the enemy scout, but there's no sign of him yet. And that has allowed me to get into my favorite spotting bushes, and the spots are commencing. So I've spotted the Batchat. And the really nice thing about being on a strong team when you're in a scout is you have 100% confidence that your team are going to be able to annihilate anything you spot. So 50B has been spotted as well. And they've fallen back, so I'm edging forward to the edge of the bush. Decide to push forward a little bit more. And once again, I'm using coated optics on the AMX 1390, so I don't need to sit still for my binocs to kick in. But we've spotted an FV4202, and he obviously has 6th sense. He's squirming like a worm on a hook right now. And I'm just waiting for friendly tanks to get into a position where they can possibly put fire in. But simply because I'm in this position, I've got this side of the map locked down. Enemy tanks can't advance down the middle of the map. They can't advance up to the top of the ridge without me spotting them. So I'm reversing to see whether or not I can make the bushes go solid and maybe try and get some shots in on the FV. But it wasn't happening, and there we go. Just spotted a T62A, or someone else may have, but he was just at the edge of my view range, but I've spotted an AMX 50B advancing through the middle. He was on the railway lines to my right, but he obviously decided to relocate, and he's getting annihilated. So Batchat has appeared again to my right. And he's fallen back. So now I want to get spots on this FV again, so I've gone into active mode. I'm not going to be getting very much passive scouting anymore, and there we go. Just spotted the FV, so I push up, I'm going to try and double bush him. And I finally start firing my gun. It does get me spotted, but I know that the bat shot... Oh, there's a 1390 over there as well. So the Batchat had retreated. I thought I was safe, but AMX 1390 has finally been spotted. My gunner has been taken out. Don't know if I've realized it yet. Oh, finally realized it. And the FV4202 is telling me impressive camo. Yep. When you can use bushes to your effect and you've got a decent crew, scouts are fantastic. So I've got one shot left in the clip. 3 RT on the enemy team. Batchat has relocated down towards the middle, so I am safe to make my run. The only downside is I've got to wait 40 seconds for my magazine to reload. But we've spotted one, but I've still got 25 seconds left to go, so I'm just going to ignore him, let my team deal with him. Spotted another one, and the GWE 100 has been taken out behind me. So 2 Waffentrager E100s on the ridge, and I decide, you know what, I'm not going to push. I'm not suicidal. They're looking my way, and if I make a push on RT, it's probably going to be suicide. So getting lots of spots at the top of the ridge. They're now looking the other way, which means I am safe to advance on this RT. None of them are paying me any attention. So I advance, spot RT, he's not looking my way, missed my first shot on the move. I'm able to work, take him out, and then I notice that one of the Waffentragers is looking my way. So pull back behind cover again, and let my team continue to work. Okay. They've dropped off radar, that means I've dropped off radar, that means I can advance. And in chat they're still teasing the Foch. Oh, too bad we've lost the game. So just one RT left, get one shot in, and then the E50M rams him to death. So not a bad game for my final game in the AMX 1390 before eliting it. It's in my reserves now. I don't think I'll be selling this tank, but I won't be playing it as often, which is why I'm happy to bring it to the channel yet again. So I finished with a first class tanker and also patrol duty, and as mentioned before, Westfield is a really difficult map to try and get scout badges on, simply because the enemy team spreads out so much. You're not going to have an easy time trying to get 10 enemy vehicles spotted. I finished top on XP with 1153 and didn't do a lot of damage, 1274, which isn't as much damage as I would normally expect to do in an AMX 1390, but I did spend most of that game passive scouting, so just the 1 kill and fairly low damage. However, I did manage to pick up almost 9,000 assistance damage, so it is really nice when you're in a scout and you have a competent team. You know they're going to hit what you're spotting, and it showed there. So I spotted 8, damaged 4, destroyed 1, and a huge amount of spotting damage. So I ended up with 63,000 credits for that game, which is always nice in a tier 8 to make that sort of money. 1729 XP on a ×2 event with some sort of special going on left me on 3,890. So that may be the final grind game in the AMX 1390, but you'll probably see it on rare occasions in future. I'm playing a lot of grinders at the moment, and AMX 1390 is going to get played a lot less as a result, but I will take it out on special occasions because it is a really solid tank. But it's going to be really interesting to see what or how the AMX 1390 is able to compete against all these new light tanks that are coming into the game in 9.3. It is extremely competitive at the moment. Whether or not it's going to remain as competitive against the new Russians, against the new Americans, and the new German light tank, that's really something that we're going to have to find out. My gut feeling is it's not going to be as competitive. I think some of those tanks are really strong, but you got to remember, AMX 1390 is an autoloader. It's got a great gun, and It will probably one-clip most of the enemy scouts or the new scouts that are being added to the game, providing it survives long enough to be able to shoot them. So some interesting times ahead for the AMX 1390, but thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.